The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
Hey, so Keith, I hear it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm the big 4-1 today.
41. I dream of 41. That's a long time ago for me. And don't even ask Bryn how old he is. He's like the young bull. If you know the joke, I'll just leave it at that. And you said your wife was pulling out all the stops. So what kind of meal are you getting today? Do you know?
So started off with some biscuits and gravy this morning. She got me breakfast in bed. I love biscuits and gravy. So I lived in Texas for almost 10 years. So that's where I picked up my love for biscuits and gravy. And then tonight she's got something special planned. Normally she'll do pozole. She's Mexican. And so that's one of the big things that I love is pozole. But tonight we're doing enchiladas suizas.
Okay, I like enchiladas, but what's pozole?
Pozole it's a soup that has hominy. Have you ever seen those? They're like big grains of they look kind of like big kernels of corn, but it's like a white kernel, and then it's like in a red sauce that's kind of spicy, and then you add lettuce and you add radish and you add and then you've got some pork in there as well, and then you eat it with some tostada chips. Oh, that sounds delicious.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's good. Amazing.
And the enchiladas, I know what an enchilada is, but what's an enchilada suisse?
So I don't know. I guess my mother-in-law calls it that, but it's like enchilada and like a green sauce with some white cream on top, and like some queso fresco on top too. So I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I like queso fresco. That's pretty good too. I like all of that.
Yeah.
Mexican. We got to check that out. That pozole?
I feel like I've heard of it before, but I've never heard it described or had it. So
I've never heard of it. I know the large corn kernels you're talking about. I don't know if it's the same thing, but my mother used to make this thing on Easter where she would just boil these things for hours and hours and hours. And you just eat it literally like popcorn. You salt it up really well. It would turn nice and soft. It was actually really good. So anyway, welcome everyone to the Metis Tech Show. My name is Paul Shavs, and joining me in studio is Bryn Raptor. Bryn, say hi.
Hello.
Hi. And we have a very special guest today, Keith Massey with Podium. And you are if I got this right, you are the strategic partner manager with Podium, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
I work with major manufacturers just like Mitsubishi, and been in the industry for a little over 10 years now.
All right. Well, good. And tell us a little bit about the company first.
Yeah. So Podium is a tech company. We're based just south of Salt Lake in Lehi, Utah. We have around a little over 1,000 employees. We work with over 10,000 HVAC and plumbing contractors, and traditionally we were very well known for helping contractors get a bunch of reviews on Google, make their business textable. Now we have a ton of AI tools that help contractors respond to all their inbound leads in under 60 seconds. And we have an AI that can respond to all of your text-based leads like emails, Facebook, Instagram, text messages. And then we also have a voice AI that can serve as an after-hours answering service, and also work during the business hours as well to help answer phone calls and schedule appointments automatically on your calendar, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've got a bunch of contractors throughout the country already using this, right?
Oh yeah. Like I said, we have over 10,000 HVAC and plumbing contractors currently using Podium.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long have you been around?
Yeah, so Podium started a little over 10 years. So I think that they're in year 11 or 12 now, I believe. But yeah, started here in Utah, and just been growing exponentially since. It's been pretty cool.
Wow. So you must have a kind of a pulse on the mood of the average contractor across the country.
Yeah. I mean, we talk to contractors all the time. So we go to lots of dealer meetings, and some of the things that we're hearing right now on in the industry, especially as it relates to AI is really the new thing that a lot of contractors are starting to test out. AI tools. The cool stat that I heard recently is that 70% of HVAC contractors have at least tested some AI tools, and anywhere from 40 to 60% are already using AI in their day-to-day operations for their business. So it's definitely something that's taken off right now in the HVAC industry.
Yeah, AI is something that it's taking me a little bit to get accustomed to. Like my son, I have a 20-year-old, and he doesn't Google anything anymore. He just picks up his phone and asks ChatGPT, "Hey, what is this? How many is this? How many feet are in a mile?" Instead of Googling it, and it comes up with all kinds of things.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm finding it's good for certain applications. I think I told you on a previous podcast, I'm using it to track my calories. This is one of the things. And it just makes it a little bit easier. Giving it the menial tasks that you would have to do manually is probably where it actually shines, is that kind of stuff. So I'm curious how that relates to, what you guys are doing at Podium. Now, is this something that you are using to, like, I think you said you're doing during daytime hours as far as answering phone calls. Now, does this to complement the current staffing for that, or is it to completely replace it to streamline things?
Yeah, great question. So what most businesses do that are using our voice AI is they'll use it as a replacement for their answering service, so their after hours, and they'll use it as a supplement to their existing office staff. So instead of, when they're getting a bunch of calls in the middle of the day.
Nope, looks like we lost him.
He froze up on us.
We'll have to see if that comes back.
So,
So I forget where we were. So
we're talking about it, using it to complement the daytime answering for phone calls.
Correct. Yeah. So we're not going to be replacing the office staff for contractors. What most dealers will do is they'll set it up to be able to respond if the office staff doesn't answer by like the third ring that the AI can pick up. But it can replace an after hours answering service. That's for sure.
Which is actually not a bad idea, because I'm finding just in the HVAC industry, our trade, there's a lot of companies that no longer offer emergency service because nobody wants to work after hours. I mean, these guys, like when I was a young technician in the field, that's where my overtime came from. It was gimme, gimme, gimme. When I was young and single, and I would love it, but then no, that's not the case today. Kids today don't really care about that. They want to, they want to go home and they want to party, or they want to do whatever they're going to do, and I don't know what they do, but
the other thing too is, let's think about it from a business owner perspective. They're already paying for an answering service,
right?
So it's really just a matter of the breakdown of what makes more sense for that business. But almost everywhere I worked, with the exception of I think one where I was the answering service, was a smaller company. But for the most part, they're paying for an answering service anyway. Right. And so this is kind of just another tool in the belt as far as that goes, which is awesome.
It's great. I'm dying to get into it, because we talked a couple of weeks ago. You gave me kind of a high level thing, and it was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think sometimes you don't even realize you're dealing with AI.
Yeah, well, that's when you know that the AI is good, when you start getting Google reviews talking about Larry or Jerry in the review, and that's the name that you put on your AI, right? And so when your AI gets so good that people think he's just another member of the team, then you know that you've got a good tool.
Yeah, so I guess walk us through what happens. Let's just take an after hours call. Let's just say a homeowner, a consumer calls a contractor's number on a weekend. Let's start from there and walk us through what they're going to experience.
Yeah, so the dealers are going to set up the AI to qualify the lead the way that their CSRs would qualify it today. They're going to ask, if the customer isn't already in their system. So, for example, we integrate with Service Titan, House Call Pro, and a lot of the other most common CRMs. So if someone calls in and let's say they're already in the database, then the AI is going to say, "Oh, hey, Keith, thanks for reaching out. How can we help you today?" And then it's going to ask for my address, and if it's already in the system, it'll say, "Hey, are you still calling about the address located at da 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 da?" And then it'll say, okay, well, what's the best date and time for us to come out and perform the service? If they say ASAP, for example, a lot of dealers love this about the after hours is the AI will actually say, hey, if you'd like to have someone come out, tonight, there's going to be an additional after hour surcharge of $310. If you're willing to pay that, we can go ahead and get you scheduled right now. If they say yes, then the AI can either send over the information to the dealer that says, hey, someone's wanting service today, or we can even transfer it directly over to the technician that's on call. And so the technician is only getting woke up if it's someone that's actually willing to pay that extra surcharge, instead of the technician getting woke up for everyone. And then when the technician says, it's going to be $300, and they say,
I can wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then the technician's already woke up. And so the AI is kind of pre-filtering it so that it's only forwarding over those calls where someone wants to pay that additional fee and get someone out tonight.
So that's a phone call, but this also works on text too, right?
Correct. So we have our voice AI, and then we also have a text AI. And the text AI is going to do something similar, but it's going to be way more elaborate, because the way that the text AI works is, let's say someone reaches out to you on Facebook, or they reach out to you from like a web chat tool on your website, and they say, hey, my AC's down, I need someone to come out and take a look at it. What our text AI does is we built in a slight delay, because what we found is if our text AI responded immediately, people would just think, oh, this is a bot, and they would kind of disengage from it. So we built in a 30 to 60 second delay, and then the AI will pick up and it'll say, hey, this is Jerry. Sorry to hear that your AC's down. Let's get you taken care of. Are you the homeowner? Are you renting? And so the dealer, again, can customize the questions that it'll ask to be able to qualify the lead. And then so a lot of dealers will set it up so that it'll ask if they're a renter, if it's a homeowner. It'll ask where the equipment's located. Every dealer that gets set up with our AI, they'll give us a list of all the zip codes that are part of their service radius. So if someone reaches out outside of that, it'll automatically disqualify that lead. But if they are within the service radius, they'll say, okay, what's the best date and time for us to come out and perform the service?
Well,
From there, once the AI gathers the information, it pushes a notification to the dealer's phone that says, hey, Bryn reached out. His furnace is making weird noises, not heating. He wants you to come out tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Now all the dealer has to do is look on their schedule, see if tomorrow at 9 a.m. works, and then they respond back and say, hey, I checked with the dispatcher. We're good to go for tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll see you then. But all of the initial back and forth that dealers struggle with, this is where dealers really fall flat, is they can't respond to the leads fast enough for the homeowners. And that's where AI helps them so that they can lock those customers in. Now all they do is check their schedule, and then they respond with one message to confirm the appointment, and then they're off to the races.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I know people who, they have an issue. They're going to be calling 10 companies. There are no more yellow pages. That's how old I am. But they're going to go online and they're going to search for HVAC companies near them. They're going to contact the first one. Okay, no, left a message. No, I'm going to go to the next one. They're going to keep calling. Unless they have a relationship established with an HVAC contractor already, they're going to keep calling until they get a response. So that's pretty cool that Larry, and I like how you name these things. Now, in the example that I saw, and I thought this was amazing. Steve and I were talking about it when we saw it, and correct me if I'm wrong or fill in the blanks, but somebody texted and they got Larry, and Larry said, oh, so what kind of equipment do you have? And they took a picture of the nameplate, and Larry said, oh yeah, that's this manufacturer, that's model so-and-so, have you checked the filter? And the person, the customer's like, well, where's the filter? And Larry was able to tell him, oh, look on the right side, these filters are here. And then the person sent in a picture of the filter, and Larry was like, oh yeah, that's a really dirty filter. You need to change that. Am I wrong, or is that the thing is that intuitive?
Yeah. So the text AI is scary how good it is, because not only can it read image and understand images, but it also speaks every language. So if you get leads coming in Spanish, French, Portuguese, it can respond and qualify those leads. But then you get homeowners that are sending in information about their equipment or their installation, and they show a picture of the nameplate. The AI, since it's tapped into all the large language models tied to OpenAI, it's going to be able to respond to those messages better than your best CSR, which is pretty cool. And, in the example that you're referencing, a homeowner reached out on a Saturday asking where the filter was located on their furnace. Like most dealers I talk to, they're not waking up on a Saturday to try to help a homeowner find a filter, right? But the AI has nothing else going on. So it like walks them through how to find it, where, the example shows a picture of a disgusting furnace, and then the AI says, yikes, that one definitely needs a replacement, But then, it's kind of elevating the customer experience, because every single message that homeowner sent to the AI, it responded to it within 60 seconds. And so being able to have that level of support is something that a lot of dealers have never experienced before. And the homeowners that are interacting with it, they end up leaving reviews. Like we've had probably over 100 reviews where the AI is specifically referenced, like, hey, Larry was, very knowledgeable and helpful when I messaged in, and great with customer service. We had one old lady that actually brought a plate of cookies to the office.
Oh, that's
Larry,
awesome.
because he was responding to her late at night, and she was like, hey, I just want to bring this by. Larry was great last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's funny when those types of situations happen.
And has a lonely housewife ever fallen in love with Larry and asked him what he's doing? No.
We're not a lonely housewife, but we did have a lonely houseman that responded and was trying to ask the AI out on a date to watch a movie or something like that.
Wow.
That is next level.
And the AI had to break it to him that she was just a digital assistant.
Oh, wow. That is so weird. That is so, oh, this is so Terminator. I just.
So let me ask you a question about the, we were talking about how it's able to, do some dispatching as far as after hours and can help be an assistant for those fielding calls during the day. If you have, folks on a service program, they're going to, already have account information within a system. Is it able to, is Podium able to utilize that for, actual tracking and scheduling of service calls or things related to that? Or is it kind of, it gives it and there still needs to be a cross reference?
So it can. So especially with the most common ones like Service Titan and House Call Pro, it'll be able to it'll reference their address. If it shows up in the customer profile that they are part of their maintenance agreement program, then it'll be able to reference that as well. So one of the cool things the AI does is if it doesn't recognize that there's any maintenance agreement, when it schedules someone for a service, it'll then turn around and say, hey, Bryn, did you know if you sign up for our Comfort Club, we'll be able to save you 10% on the repair we're going to be doing for you tomorrow morning. Plus you get 2 annual visits, you get priority service. It's $29.99 a month. Would you like to go ahead and get started on that? So it'll actually pre-sell a maintenance agreement before a technician even shows up at the house.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, is it primarily being used currently for the service side of the industry, or is it also helping as far as either replacement or new installation leads as well?
It's helping on both.
Yeah.
So any lead that comes into the business, the AI is going to qualify it. And the great thing is when your dealers get signed up, they're going to give us a list of all the services they provide. So if they do HVAC, plumbing, electrical, if they have any excluded services, so let's say they do HVAC, but they don't want to touch duct cleaning, we can have the AI kind of split hairs there. And so if someone reaches out about duct cleaning, it can disqualify them. You can even have it set up so that it can send over a referral to an electrician or something if they've got something like that set up.
Oh, wow.
You can train the AI to be able to do that too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. Now I imagine. I can imagine a lot of things here. It's kind of, my mind is boggled at the moment. But what are some of the success stories, like real world stories that some contractors have shared with you, some businesses?
Yeah, so there's been a lot. One of them that comes to mind is there's a company. Let me see if I can pull up the sheet here. There's a company called AAA Service, and they were able to generate over $1 million in new revenue just by using our AI CSR, Jerry.
Wow.
They named their AI CSR Kelly. But they've got a fleet of 125 trucks, so a pretty big company. And it says Kelly provides reliable, speed to lead, and empathetic, human-like conversations that keep calendars full and drive more than $1 million in revenue each month. So they saw an additional $1 million in revenue in 12 months. They also saw a 6x increase in the amount of reviews that they were getting each month. So we automate the process of collecting reviews and then also responding to each one of those reviews. The AI booked 760 jobs in the last 12 months, and it's qualifying 90% of their after-hours leads.
Wow.
So that's just one example, but pretty impressive to be able to see that amount. And the great thing is, since it's AI, it doesn't matter if they have 3 leads coming in all at once or if they have 300. All of those leads are going to be responded to in under 60 seconds.
So let's go back and compare it to an actual answering service with some people who were there. If there's a cold snap or a heat wave and the phone's ringing off the hook, Larry or Kelly doesn't matter. Larry and Kelly can talk simultaneously.
Phone calls that come.
Wow,
They can be able to answer calls simultaneously. Exactly.
that is amazing. At what point or do the homeowners realize they're speaking to AI, or most of them just don't even realize it? I'm kind of curious if there's feedback there.
Yeah. So our goal, especially on the text AI front, is I would say that 99% of people have no idea that it's an AI. If the homeowner was to ask specifically, hey, is this an AI? Then they'll say, yeah, I'm a digital assistant for ABC Heating. But most people don't even ask because the AI is responding in such a conversational way that you just think you're just talking to a human. Now, on the voice AI front, usually you're able to pick up on that a little bit easier just because there's additional pauses, or they might say something that's not exactly in line with the regional way of speaking in that market,
Yeah.
And so you can be able to pick up on that fairly easy still, but we'll get to the point even where the voice AI is going to be so good that a lot of dealers will actually opt to have the AI say that it's an AI at the beginning of the call, just so that people aren't, taken back by it. But right now we have a lot of customers that'll call in, talk to the voice AI, and they realize that the AI is gathering all the information that's going to help them be scheduled anyways, and so they'll just go with it.
Yeah.
When we first started, there was a lot of homeowners that as soon as they recognized that it was an AI, they would just hang up. But anytime now, a lot of people, they're getting more and more used to AI answering services. And so they're like, okay, it's just gathering my information. And then, someone else is going to reach out or confirm the appointment. And so a lot more homeowners now are preferring that over just leaving a voicemail. Because a lot of times you enter a voicemail, you have no idea if someone's ever going to reach out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm curious. I want to backtrack a little bit here. You mentioned in the beginning when I first asked you that your company just used to help people with the reviews. Right. Tell me a little bit about what that means, because I'm curious, and then tell me how did you go from that to Larry and Kelly?
Yeah, great idea. Okay, so when Podium started over 10 years ago, we were the first business that ever sent a text message to a customer requesting a review. We were the very first ones. Google was actually one of our initial investors when we started. And so the way that we automate the process for dealers on collecting reviews is a lot of it is triggered through integrations that we have with the CRMs that they're using: Service Titan, House Call Pro, Field Edge, Service Fusion. Even contractors that aren't using a CRM, if they're using QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop for their accounting, we can also automate collecting reviews by triggering that text message to go out as soon as someone's balance goes to zero. They just paid off their bill with you. That means there was some service that happened. And so we'll text the homeowner a link that says, please take 30 seconds and leave us a review. They tap on the link, and then they're taken directly to the Google business page for that dealer to leave the review. Whole process takes 30 seconds. It's super easy for the homeowner to be able to complete that. And then once we gather the review, now we use AI to go in and actually respond to the review automatically for the dealer. So if someone leaves a 5-star review, then the AI is going to say, "Hey, Bryn, thanks for the 5-star. Glad you're enjoying your new Mitsubishi system. Reach out to us if you need help." It'll take the context of what the homeowner put in their review, and it'll kind of regurgitate it a little bit to them in a conversational way. But Google, what they want to see is they want to see consistent reviews coming in from the business, and they want to see a response from the owner. That's going to help bring you up to the top of the organic results in Google. And so when we started with that, we had a lot of people that ended up getting to the top of the Google Map Pack, and they started getting a lot of leads. And then we have our web chat tool. So they would end up on their website. We had a web chat tool that would start a text conversation with that homeowner. But then we saw that all these leads were coming in through the web chat, where all these people were reaching out to the businesses, and their lead times were terrible. They had a 15, 20, 30 minutes, and they weren't responding to the leads fast enough. And so we said, well, how can we make it so that on top of helping contractors get a ton of organic leads coming in for their business, how can we make it so that they can respond fast enough that the homeowner doesn't end up going back to Google, going down to the next business in the line and calling them? And so we have this AI now that makes it so that they never miss a lead, and they're responding faster than everybody else in their market.
Wow, that's just...
Now, is that if you were to, as a business owner, decide that you wanted to enlist the services of Podium, now would both of those be included as part of it, or are they two separate sections of what you do?
Yeah, good question. So we have different add-ons depending on what the dealer needs. So a lot of dealers, if they're smaller and let's say they just want to focus on being able to get more reviews and be able to text their customers and have the web chat on their website, that's like our core package that's needed for everything else. And then if they wanted to add the Podium phone system, then that would be another thing. And, each dealer maybe you need 3 or 4 phone users, or maybe you need 34 users. So it's going to depend on the dealer. And then the other thing would be, okay, do I want to add the text AI? Okay, Jerry can handle all the inbound text leads. And then the last add-on would be the voice AI, where you would replace your answering service and be able to have the AI answering phone calls. So there's the different plan options there that give dealers a little bit more flexibility on what's important for them and where the gaps are in their response times with the customers.
True.
So Keith, I'm a little old. Not only old, but I'm old-fashioned a little bit too. So I would imagine if you're speaking to somebody in my generation or even a little bit older, that they're going to be a little cautious or apprehensive about this. So how do you deal with that, and how can you assure them that, hey, that this is something that's trustworthy? How do you deal with that, if you deal with that at all?
We do. So there's going to be some contractors that are always going to be a little bit leery about letting an AI take care of a certain aspect of their business. Usually what helps contractors feel more confident in it is when they actually try it themselves. So normally when we do a demo, we'll go on to a demo website and say, okay, what do you want to, what kind of question do you guys normally get in your business? And so we'll put in an example message, and then we'll watch how the AI responds and interacts with them. And usually by the end of that conversation, the contractor says, wow, this is responding better than my CSRs and more professional, no grammar errors, no punctuation errors. And that's like the most vanilla version, because the demo site is like set up for any type of HVAC business. But when we set the contractors up, it's completely custom for their business. And it's going to know the ins and outs of every aspect of what their services are, where they're operating, and be able to answer all the questions that come across the way.
Well, I'm still blown away, but I just can't believe. I'm trying to think of. I used to have. This is how long I've been doing this. I used to have a pager that was not alphanumeric. It was just a phone number. So the answering service, somebody would call a lady at the answering service who was in her living room, smoking Marlboros and drinking whatever.
Yep.
No Red Bull back then, in her living room at 2 a.m. and she'd probably have 10, 15, 20 different companies at least that she was dealing with. And she used to have to page a number and punch in the number. I'd have to call back, get all the information. It's like, I was like, holy cow, I just, I'm really blown away. And I meant to ask you this in the beginning here, but you were introduced to our podcast, and we were introduced to you by Ricardo on our marketing team. So I meant to ask this first question was how have you and Mitsubishi partnered? Because I didn't know anything about it, until Ricky told us.
Yeah, so I would say our original partnership started back in I think it was 2021 or 2022, and now it's kind of been reinvigorated since we've released all these AI things, because originally it was mostly around helping contractors get a bunch of reviews. And so now with the speed to lead and being able to help contractors respond faster, that's going to help Mitsubishi sell a lot of equipment, because if we can make it so that no homeowner goes back and finds another contractor, we want to keep those leads with your dealers and be able to help them sell more Mitsubishi equipment. And so the partnership allows Mitsubishi contractors to get a 20% discount off of our pricing, which is our biggest discount available. Yeah. And so if we can be able to hook you guys up with the best deal possible to be able to use this software, it's gonna be a home run for both Mitsubishi as well as for your contractors.
Right. Well, we'll put the contact info up at the end here, but I'm just wondering if you have anything else on the horizon that you're working on, like what's coming next. So because I hate to ask, because I don't even know what's gonna happen here.
Hopefully it doesn't blow your mind too much. But as far as upcoming products, we're working on being able to do AI outbound stuff. So let's say that it's, right now we're in the fall, right? Everybody's going to be calling their customers to schedule them for their fall maintenance. What if we could just give the AI a list of 100 customers and say, hey, we need to get these guys scheduled over the next couple of weeks. And then the AI is going to start calling. Hey, this is ABC Heating. I'm calling about your extended warranty. I'm calling about your spring or your fall maintenance. Calling about your fall maintenance. Looks like we've got some availability tomorrow morning between 9 and 11 to have someone come out there and do an AC tune-up. Does that work for you? Great. Okay, I'll make a note, and then we'll have someone reach out to confirm. But then it'll just go through all of those 100 customers and get them scheduled automatically, whether it's through a phone call, or we can also have the AI text the customer as well and be able to get it all scheduled through text.
And because I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And because the AI has access to the dealer's CRM, they're just going to go and put it right on the schedule, so they know if there's somebody available at that time on that date and whatever.
Yeah. So right now we have what we call hard booking available for House Call Pro. Hard booking will actually have visibility to the calendar and be able to see where the slots are available, and it'll actually be able to push it directly to the calendar. All the dealer is going to have to do is just assign a technician to run the call, but our AI currently right now can book it directly on their calendar. With Service Titan, it's a little bit different. It's called a soft booking with Service Titan, because what we do is we push it to the bookings tab within Service Titan, and then our AI will give a summary of what the service is, and then it'll have an approve or dismiss button. If they approve it, it'll push it directly to their schedule. And so it's doing a lot of the work. We want to have hard booking available for Service Titan in the next month or two is what we're shooting for. But when we're able to do more and more of the hard booking stuff, that's when it really gets fun, because then you wake up in the morning and you got stuff on your calendar already because the AI has been working all night.
Wow.
Yeah. That's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought he was about to say that Podium was going to have service robots soon that were going to actually be going out and doing the calls too.
Yeah.
Not quite.
That's going to be a tough one. If you do that, I'd really be impressed. I keep telling people, people who deal with AI, they've never seen a Terminator movie, but that's okay. But it's everywhere now, and everybody's using it. We use AI for some of our e-learnings, where you can't tell it's not a real person, because it's all based on a real person. I don't know. It's just very interesting. All right, so let's get down let's wind up here. If I'm listening, if I'm a contractor listening, and that's who our target audience is. It's the guys in the truck, and it's the managers, and it's the owners. A lot of them listen to us. We've gotten some feedback from them all. But if I'm one of those guys, and they're listening, and they're like, what? I need this. So how do they get more information, and how do they contact you?
Yeah, great question. So you can reach me directly at Keith.Massey, Massey at podium.com. We also, I think that we also have a, let me see here real quick. I believe we also have a landing page for Mitsubishi. Oh, we do. So it's podium.com/Mitsubishi, and they can go right there. They can put in their information if they'd like to be able to schedule a demo. And it's got some general information about our services. It's got a little video that talks about what Jerry can do and as an AI employee. But that would be the first step. You could either reach out to me directly or, be able to go to the podium.com/Mitsubishi and be able to learn more.
And for those of you who are on the video podcast and watching it, we'll have that information displayed up on the screen.
Yeah,
for you.
We'll put it in the description too.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description.
The hyperlink for the website. So
so anybody listening, so it's all. This is just, like I said, I'm just amazed as to all of this and how we've come. It reminds me. So when I was a kid, this is way off topic here, but my grandmother was well into her 90s when she passed away, and I was 12 years old, and she was born in the 1880s, and she died.
Oh, wow.
And she died in the 1970s. So she went literally in her lifetime from horse and buggy to Man on the Moon. And I was a little kid. I mean, I can barely remember this, watching Man land on the moon. My father woke up the whole family. I want to say it was early morning or late at night. And my grandmother was his mother. And she's like, this isn't real. This is all fake. On TV, you see people get shot. They're on TV the next day. You see shoes walk with no feet in them. But this is, I've always said that technology is never going to advance that much again in a person's lifetime. But now I don't know.
Yeah.
This is 5 years ago, I never would have thought that this was possible.
Yeah.
2 years ago, even. If you had said this, I would have said,
well, the thing is the rate at which that, AI and everything is progressing is what has surprised me the most, where they would make AI videos, and 2 years ago, you're like, it's very obviously AI, and now it can be a little bit tricky to figure that out. And so,
you're right. Yep. It was obviously AI. You could tell by the tone of the voice. Yeah.
So
maybe not even. Maybe even less. This is just. I don't know. For me, it's mind blowing, and I'm excited about this. And if you're a contractor out there, I'm curious if you are a business out there and you're using this. Let us know. Let us know what you think about it. I'm just curious, and maybe we'll let you have you on and tell us about it. But and typically we're the Metis Tech Show. We'll typically talk about technical things, but once in a while we like to delve outside of that and do something for the business as a whole, and for the business owner and the managers and stuff. And I think this is it. And you did mention somebody goes to that website, they get a discount because it's Mitsubishi.
Yep, 20% discount.
20%
listed
discount
right there on the landing page.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
That's
in
fantastic.
perpetuity. So as long as you guys are with us, you get the 20% discount, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
wow, that's
great.
awesome. Well, I hope some people take advantage of it. I'm looking forward to see where this goes. Keith, I want to thank you for joining us and giving us this information. Happy birthday again. Enjoy what's it called? Pozole, no.
Enjoy some pozole. Enchiladas.
And I can see you're awful skinny for a wife. That sounds like she's a really good cook.
She is a great cook. My mother-in-law too. She's always over there cooking too. So I love
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Get out of the kitchen. I gotta hear.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, thanks again for joining us. You take care, and I hope to see you at one of these conferences, one of these events someday. These trade events.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
See you on the next one.